what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5. Up front is a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be making this video here today because this is my first hands-on experience with the all-new Tacoma. It has been completely redesigned for the 2024 model year. This is the SR5 model as well, which is a more basic, more run-of-the-mill, what you'll probably end up purchasing vehicle. So we're going to be talking about the features there. And I was invited up personally by Toyota to test out this vehicle here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, to put it through its paces and give it a very thorough review. And so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Toyota Tacoma SR5. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood. Well, you have to know that the SR5 is one trim level up from the base. The base model is the SR that gets the same 2.4 liter turbo, but there's no oil cooler, different engine mounts, and so it actually makes less power. This engine makes 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Now there is a third engine that will be coming down the road, the Hybrid Max, but that is not available with the SR5. I really like this engine. We are going to be seeing the hybrid version of this engine in the new Land Cruiser, and this seems to be the direction in which Toyota's going, and I don't think it's a bad one. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. However, you can find these also with 6-speed manuals that now come with the IMT, which is auto rev matching and things like that. It's found on like the GR Corolla and whatnot. So I'm a big fan of that system. But this is the 8-speed auto, and I like it. It's doing the job well, and I don't have any complaints. Last but not least about the drivetrain, this is 4-wheel drive. This is part-time 4-wheel drive. And the double cab like this gets the multi-link rear suspension, but if you opt for the extra cab, which is just the 2-door, that actually has leaf springs in the back. So depending on what cab you buy, it actually determines which suspension setup you get, which I thought to be pretty interesting. This also has 17-inch alloy wheels. How does it feel to drive the Toyota Tacoma SR5? Well, it feels like all the other Tacomas, and that's actually a very good thing because the Tacoma is such a staple. It's always been such a wonderful truck. I'm glad that they didn't go off changing it and flipping it around and making it some weird shell of its former self. No, they stayed true to the Tacoma name. And I love seeing that. I did also do some off-road driving, and like I said, this does have the multi-link suspension as opposed to the leaf springs, and it was very enjoyable. It handled everything really well. Toss it into 4-low when needed, and as you can see, it snowed the night before. We were not anticipating this, so the off-road course was not supposed to be snowy, and there was a little bit of struggling, but you toss it into 4-low, and it's fine. What you're seeing now is my friend Jim in a sport Tacoma trying to get up the hill, and well, the elements are not agreeing. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have some physical and digital gauges. Off to the left, we have the coolant temperature. Off to the right, we have the fuel, which are physical. But then we get a screen for the center. Toyota's been switching to screens as of recent. I really like them. I think they work really well, and I don't have any complaints. I'll flip through a couple of screens now in case you are curious about what's available, but here it is. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as volume and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control options. Really love to see this in the Tacoma. The overall steering wheel is pretty nice. I've experienced this in many other Toyotas. It's nothing too new, but I really like the feel of it. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight levelers, gauge dimmer switch, automatic high beams, traction control off, and our rear cargo light. And moving on to the door, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have our infotainment system. This does feature Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And because this is the SR5, this is the pretty basic level of it, so nothing really too crazy here. But there is a larger screen optional in the upper trims. So this is a limited trim level, so this doesn't come on the SR5, but I just want to show this off. The center JBL speaker in the new Tacoma can actually be removed and used as a regular portable speaker that you could Bluetooth your phone to. And then when it's in the car, it actually works as the center speaker. That is very cool. Not available on the SR5, but I just wanted to show that off. 2 climate vents along with the climate controls. I do have my heated seats. No dual zone, single zone here. Again, SR5, pretty simple stuff. And then we do have this very interesting area. Off to the right, we have 2 USB chargers, a 12-volt outlet, and what would be a wireless charger. However, this particular one was not optioned for that. Moving into the center console, off to the left, we have our power parking brake and brake hold, and we have some drive modes. So we have our 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low settings. You push this button in, and then you can rotate the entire gear to put it into the different 4-wheel settings. We have our tow haul and of course power mode. And off to the right, we do have our shifter, pretty standard shifter for modern Toyotas. I've grown pretty accustomed to it, especially in the Tundra that I had earlier this year, and I really like it. Down below, we have a bunch of dead switches. Now, in higher trim levels, this would be for like locking differentials and buttons like that, but of course the SR5 is basic. Then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Toyota Tacoma SR5, and unfortunately it fails. I really had high hopes that this new generation of Tacoma would pass, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, it is a fail. Then we do have the center console with nothing in it, and the seats, like I said, they're heated, but they're actually manual seats. Again, SR5, and they are cloth. However, I do find them pretty comfortable driving it off-road, on-road. It's all been pretty good. But if you do go up to the TRD Pro, you will get those crazy suspension seats, which I actually learned they test muled them on a Toyota Prius for its original conception and then transitioned it into the Tacoma chassis. Found that to be kind of interesting. However, speaking of seats, this is the double cab, so we do have full back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5, and this is a huge improvement over the outgoing Tacoma. I never liked the back seats of the outgoing Tacoma, but this is actually decently manageable. My knees, surprisingly, are not hitting the seat in front of me. My head is not hitting the ceiling, and that couldn't be said about earlier gens. I do actually have an LED light. Very nice to see that. Grab handle over here. Cup holders here that say capped bottles only. So Toyota is officially capping these days. No center console. Again, SR5 base model stuff, but I do have a 12-volt outlet back here, which is nice to see. Overall, is this a space where I would want to spend a bunch of time on a road trip? No, absolutely not. But for going to the job site, for fitting people in here, going to the store, doing this, that, or the other, it's totally fine. And again, that just couldn't be said about the last gen. I hated the last gen seats, but these are actually manageable, and that's very good to see. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the cargo space and bed, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Tacoma SR5. Pretty standard tailgate release here, although the upper trims do have like a knee assist, so you can actually have the tailgate come down like that. Obviously, the bed is full of snow because we got that snow last night, and there isn't really anything to note about. Now, upper trims are available with an outlet in the back that I believe is a 400-watt outlet, or when the Hybrid Maxes are available, the Hybrid Max will actually have a 2400-watt outlet in the bed, which is very cool. SR5 doesn't get any of that, but just something to note, if that's something you absolutely need, the upper trim levels will have that. And so, that's it. That is the new Tacoma. Really easy, light tailgate, pop it up like that. Toyota Tacoma. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I think the refreshed, redesigned Tacoma does look really good. It holds on to what made the previous generation Tacomas look so good, but it still modernizes it. This looks like a new truck, and that's not always in Toyota's vocabulary. They really like sticking to what they know. However, I think they did it just right for this one. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the brand new Toyota Tacoma? Well, I really like it. I think this truck is really great, and the new trim levels that they are showing are exciting. The Trail Hunter, which is a purpose-built overland vehicle, looks exciting. The TRD Pro looks amazing. All of it looks really good, and I'm very excited by this truck. But this isn't anything groundbreaking. It's the same winning recipe that Toyota has used for quite some time. Yes, the 2.4-liter turbo is new. It's not something they've put into the Tacoma before, but it's been in other Toyotas before this. It's a pretty decently well thought out engine. And talking to my friend Ahmed from the Car Care Nut, who's also at this event, he's so happy to see the 2.4 liter turbo because it's so much easier to work on. The V6 Tacomas, the V6 was jammed in there, and so doing basic maintenance could sometimes be a struggle. Well, the 2.4 liter offers up a lot more space without losing much power. And I'm very excited to see the Hybrid Max because it actually makes more torque than the V6 ever made. So that will be very, very exciting to see. But overall, I'm very happy with the Tacoma. I think it was a really well done job. And it shouldn't be a surprise. Toyota thinks out their products. It's nothing new. So I'm happy to say that nothing's changed. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota, not only for loaning me this vehicle for this video, but putting me up, taking me to dinner. It's been super nice to talk to everyone, to talk to the engineers that worked on these trucks, to get some behind the scenes knowledge. They've been absolutely wonderful. Toyota is just so great to work with. I can't stress that enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.